On tonight's CTV News, fears for a missing tramper. We're learning more on the death of an experienced climber on Mount Cook and how a new drink driving laws affecting Canterbury businesses.
Broadcasting across Canterbury from the CTV studio, this is First at 5.
Good evening, welcome to CTV News. I'm Emma Cropper. A tramper who went missing in the weekend near Arthur's Pass has been sighted but is still missing. Here's the details. A Canadian tourist has come forward after an appeal for sightings of a missing French hiker. Canterbury police say Genevieve Forcier made contact with them yesterday. She says she met the missing French woman while tramping on Cass Saddle in Arthur's Pass National Park. The pair is understood to have left the track together. Police have received reports of someone, possibly Celine, hitching a ride from Coralline Station back to Arthur's Pass on Wednesday. Due to language difficulties, the only description of Celine so far is that she is in her mid-20s. Police are hoping to talk further with Genevieve today with the aid of a translator. They have also received calls suggesting Celine may have been heading south, but so far these sightings have not been verified. Anyone with information on the whereabouts of Celine is asked to contact the Canterbury Police or Crime Stoppers. Also in Canterbury's Alpine region, police have now been able to comment on the death of an experienced climber on Mount Cook. A Canterbury climber was clocking up experience hours when he fell over 200 metres to his death on Aoraki, Mount Cook on Saturday. Senior Constable Leslie Andrew says everyone who knew the 28-year-old is in complete shock. He says Stewart fell when his ice axe broke free from the rock it was in, causing him to slip backwards in a tragic turn of events. Stewart was one of 4 experienced climbers who set out early on Saturday morning to climb the ridge. He worked for DOC's Aoraki Alpine Rescue Team as a seasonal mountaineer for the past 3 months. Stewart's family has thanked everyone involved in the recovery and has asked for privacy at this time. Inspector Gaskin says it's a tragic start to the climbing season. There are still fears for a missing rebuild worker. Hayden Cossey hasn't been seen since last Thursday. He was last spotted at Eastgate Mall wearing a black hoodie, white t-shirt and black jeans. His family have taken to Facebook to thank everyone for their support. Anyone with information on his whereabouts is asked to contact Canterbury Police or Crime Stoppers. A local youth group has made a festive visit to Minister Jerry Brownlee's office, but they're not delivering presents. Here's more on the story. No toys for Minister Jerry Brownlee this Christmas. In a bid to raise awareness about climate change, Generation Zero is gifting the local MP with a Christmas card and lump of coal.
So we're just here to let him know that, you know, we're watching and Santa's watching, and we've presented him with a lump of coal to express our disappointment.
The Youth Climate Change organisation is delivering to 14 MP officers across the country who they say are being naughty on climate change.
We were really hopeful that they would take the opportunity of the climate talks in Lima to announce some new commitments to reducing New Zealand's emissions, but sadly that's failed to happen.
This isn't the first time the group has brought attention to the subject. Last week, hundreds of activists across the country put their heads in the sand, protesting against the government's inaction on climate change. But their bids to get the government's attention are falling at deaf ears.
We're not necessarily trying to communicate with the government anymore. We're trying to communicate with our community and with the global community to say that this is something we all personally need to take action on, even if we don't have support from above.
Minister Brownlee was absent from his office during today's delivery. Generation Zero believe the gift may be discarded.
I wouldn't put it past the Minister to disregard our signs, but the important thing is that we were able to symbolise how we feel, and I think it speaks stronger than another petition or another online submission.
The group believes that the general public has the wrong idea when it comes to the issue, which could create a stronger economy in New Zealand.
So hopefully New Zealanders, when they learn more about climate change, will actually realise that it's an amazing opportunity.
Generation Zero is hoping the country's leaders will step up to the mark and take action on the future of New Zealand's climate. Emma Cropper, CTV News. Still to come, we speak to the parents of children whose schools closed last week.
Southern Newsweek is an Otago-based news bulletin. Watch this every week to stay in touch with what's happening in and around your community. Stay in the know with Southern Newsweek, 11 a.m. Saturdays, right here on CTV.
Our new companion package is a personalised service for those that need extra help and support. A cost-effective solution for someone who needs more than just a taxi driver. Our drivers are handpicked from our experienced team and specialise in providing the right support and companionship. Home safe every time with Blue Star Taxis.
Welcome to Caltex Redwood. We're a family-owned business proudly supporting our local community. We're open 24/7 for fuel and shop goods, and we have an amazing team of people ready to help you. Save at least 6 cents per litre using AA Smart Fuel cards. We also offer great value on our LPG bottle fills. We have a full workshop and Bridgestone Tyre Centre. Our mechanics and tyre technicians will get your car sorted. Caltex Redwood. We're just down from St Bede's on Main North Road. Caltex Redwood. What drives you?
Blackwells has a proud history presenting leading vehicle brands, extensive backup and service for a total one-stop driving experience. Holden, Mazda and HSV new and used vehicle sales, servicing, parts, paint and panel, Isuzu truck sales and service, all together in one convenient location. More selection, more value, more quality and more reasons to make Blackwells your number one choice. Visit Blackwells today, corner Waterloo Racecourse Road, Sockburn, or online at blackwells.co.nz.
Have you got creepy crawlies scurrying through your house? Or is your problem a bit bigger? Well, we can help. Being Canterbury owned and operated for 10 years means we've learnt a thing or two about our local invaders. We have the option of non-toxic chemicals to provide a healthier environment for you and your family while evicting those nasties. And satisfaction is guaranteed. So eliminate the problem quickly and safely. For a full range of services, visit our website, elitepestcontrol.co.nz.
Take a Break showcases some of the best that the South Island has to offer. From fun-filled adventures, great places to eat and stay, and of course beautiful scenic landscapes. Take a break, don't miss it.
Welcome back. Since the introduction of tougher drink driving limits 2 weeks ago, locals are adapting to the stricter rules. Here's more on the story. Locals have had 2 weeks to get used to the new drink driving laws. From the 1st of December, major changes meant drivers had to think twice before getting behind the wheel after a few drinks, with the drink driving limits being lowered from 0.8 to 0.5. There have been reports that local bars are finding it slower on Friday nights, but Cantabrians think it's a step in the right direction.
I think on one hand it's a really good idea because really if you're drinking you should be enjoying yourself. One drink is really neither here or there. But on the other hand, I think actually roads need to be safer and it's really the main thing.
The new levels are now in line with those in Australia, and locals living here from the neighbouring country believe they're on point.
I did find when I first moved to New Zealand that 0.08 seemed a wee bit high. So I have no problem with them.
And many are seeing a change in the drinking culture.
People that I know certainly are, so I hope so, yeah.
I've just been to a restaurant today and they all had a drink. I don't, because I'm driving.
I think people who would drink drive probably won't think twice, but just judging by my own family, people have been a lot more careful and they're really thinking what's happening that evening and who's going to drive and who's not. So it's certainly, I think, getting people to ask the question before they get behind the wheel.
But not everyone agrees the change is good for local roads.
I think just too low. We're adults. And people are getting killed by speeding and using cell phones all the time, like that car was just then.
If found in breach of the new drink driving limits, motorists will face a minimum $200 fine and loss of 50 demerit points. Emma Cropper, CTV News. Upset and angry. That's the reaction from the parents of children attending 3 new Brighton schools slated to merge next year. The children might be excited about their future school, but these parents aren't so willing to let go of the past.
Change is never easy, and the parents of the children whose New Brighton schools are merging together are still struggling with the prospect of the move.
My girls were all in tears last night just because there's such a
a loss?
I think it's actually going to be a really big loss, and it's going to be a big impact on the community, the children and everyone around here.
It's like losing a home for the children.
Well, I used to come here quite a long time ago now, and I just really loved it. It was a great feel, the whole community, all the parents, all the teachers were great back then, and they still are now.
One of the reasons we brought round here was because the school was here, and I've had two sons here, and it's been a really good, supportive school.
Some of the parents are worried how their children will cope when the new Rawiti school is built on the North New Brighton site. It's due to open at the start of 2016, and 500 students will be based there. That will mean a huge change for the students attending the much smaller, separate primary schools.
My son doesn't adapt well. I mean, we came from Australia and he found it really hard to adapt and make friends, and now that he's going to another huge big school, he's going to find it really hard.
Children kind of get lost in a big school, just, you know, especially my children because they're quite shy. A lot of concern just about how it's going to be and how the kids are going to cope with all the changes.
Now that Freeville School is closing, parents are concerned about what will happen to the school.
The other thing is what's going to be here. You know, we don't want it open and knocked down for some vandals to come in and make a real mess of it. So that's also a concern of the community and the people that live around here.
They're also worried about what it will do to their house values.
I can just imagine my house price is just going to devalue now. I mean, we're a rebuild, but even with a brand new house, because there's no school around here, the valuation is going to go down, but I'm sure the council rates will go up.
Yeah, I suppose that's a legitimate concern, but I think that this area in future, they're looking at, you know, talking about putting park down to the river and, you know, a new leisure facility. This could be a great place to live.
However, these parents and grandparents are putting their concerns to the side to support their children.
Everyone's trying to be feeling positive about it, and I think it will be a really good school.
Changes bring promises for the future, and I'll keep that in foremost in mind in order for my own sanity and that of my grandchildren.
The minister has made her decision, and now this community needs to adapt. The new Rawiti school will be embraced, and in time a new community is bound to develop and flourish. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
A new cycleway is being built to link Springston and Lincoln and contend with the district's growing traffic congestion. Here's more on the story.
A new cycleway is being built between Springston and Lincoln. The 2.6 kilometre off-road track will form part of a wider cycling network connecting the main townships in the Eastern Samhain district. At a cost of $234,000, the track is jointly funded by the council and the Springston Community Committee and will be open from the end of January. The cycleway will run from Everest Way in Springston along the south side of Ellesmere Junction Road to the childcare centre at Lincoln University. From there, it will connect to existing pathways alongside the road by Lincoln. The cycleway will add to a growing number of tracks being developed in Selwyn, including the 11-kilometre Little River Rail Trail between Hornby, Prebleton and Lincoln. The Selwyn District Council says the cycle network is in response to the high traffic volumes the district has experienced since the earthquakes, especially from heavy trucks and trailers.
Glenn Howie's name has become synonymous in Christchurch in recent weeks. The Wellingtonian is a regular visit to the Garden City. He's known for his urban exploration, joining the ranks of the group that recently entered the Christchurch Cathedral. Soon he will publish his photos in a book, but first he showed Marcus Gibbs what the city is like beyond the cordon.
We find him outside the Odeon Theatre on Chulm Street. The partially demolished building is beyond repair. Signs on the fence clearly state this building is off limits, but that doesn't stop urban explorer Glenn Howie from scaling the rubble to capture his prized photographs.
Half the roof is on the floor, and you do wonder as you look up, how long till the rest comes down.
Today he took CTV News on a journey, armed with a small camera to give you a first-hand look at some of the places he finds himself in, and to explain why he continues to step behind the cordon.
People stopped being allowed access to these places and were never allowed back in, and I just thought we're missing out on something here, and these buildings are being, whipped away.
The Odeon Theatre has been abandoned since the earthquakes. It was the oldest masonry theatre in New Zealand and was once used as a meeting place during Kate Sheppard's women's suffrage campaign. Today it sits empty as Glenn explores its halls. It's one of nearly 200 dangerous and abandoned buildings that he has visited since the earthquakes. Inside, plaster litters the floor and taggers have gone wild. As Glenn explores, he takes a wary step, testing the broken ground of this bathroom.
Can't help but feel what people felt when they ran out of there. You can't help but realise it's pretty dramatic.
After traversing a staircase, he's out the front. This facade may one day be saved, but even if it isn't, Glenn will still have his photo. Despite the beautiful imagery that he captures, he's all too aware of the dangers of the job.
There was a building that moved a good solid 6 inches underneath my feet, and that was frightening. And I instantly saw the headlines then, idiot photographer kills himself. It was perched on the edge of Clifton Terrace. I stepped from one side to the other. It moved a good solid 6 inches. Heart was in the mouth, and I thought that might be it.
But it wasn't to be. Since that day, he's taken thousands of photographs as he documents the city's ruins. Plans have been announced to save the facade of the Mackenzie and Willis building, but the rest of the place is a write-off. It looks as though Christchurch has waged a war, and now only the shell remains. Once again, Glenn has stepped past the barrier to see the damage up close.
The roof in certain parts is just totally and utterly crumbling down around you, and there's a wonderful slice of real-life memories from an amazing cafe that was obviously in there, that was gorgeous in its time, and they're obviously keeping the facade of the building, so that part of history is kept, and everything else will be wiped away behind.
Inside, it's hard to believe that this was once a cafe, but all the amenities are still here, and aside from a coating of dust and rubble, this kitchen could almost open for business. But these jars of Marmite give away the truth. Glenn isn't the first person to climb through here.
I photographed a couple of amazing Marmite and Vegemite jars, and as I sat there shooting it, I realised these are too perfect. Someone else has been here and organised that, just had to be.
Throughout his journey, he's yet to run into anyone. Despite tales of squatters and vandals, no one's around when Glenn comes calling.
It's eerie because it's people's memories, no matter how you look at it. It's people's memories. And I feel kind of privileged to be walking around in there in a strange way, even though I know I'm also breaking the law.
Finding himself in a police cell is always at the back of Glenn's mind. Sarah frowns on his and other urban explorers' work, like the team who recently took these photos inside the Christchurch Cathedral.
I just hope, like hell, that they realise what I'm doing is risking my life, and they've got bigger things and way more important things to do than worry about me.
Belongings still litter the ground in here. The occupants of these offices haven't stuck around. And as Glenn snaps away at this fridge, passers-by get a glimpse of this urban explorer from the street.
Damn, that's incredible, boys. It's like walking around in people's memories. There's destruction there, there's chaos there, yet there's all these little things that remind you of what the people were doing on the day and the things that are just left behind. It's history.
Glenn Howie is a self-confessed urban explorer and plans to release his photos in a book in time for the 5th anniversary of the 2011 earthquake. Marcus Gibbs, CTV News.
Still to come, the weekend sport review and your region's weather.
Make a date every Thursday night. The Owl and the Pussycats have returned. I'm the Owl and the women will be the panel. Make sure you get your letters and correspondence in and we'll answer your queries every Thursday, 8:30 here on CTV.
My son's helped me greatly with my independence now that I've got more mobility.
Mum, I've been looking into stand assist chairs from More Mobility. They recline back with a footrest. Then when you want to get out of them, they stand you up. You can even sleep on them. More Mobility can bring one out for a free trial. There's even electric beds too. What do you think? For more range and more expert advice, see More Mobility, corner Clarence and Princess Streets off Blenheim Road.
What a difference more mobility makes.
best friend on holiday to snuggle in boarding Canterbury. We pride ourselves on having a safe, clean and fun environment for your feline companion. With luxury heated rooms, private courtyard, comprehensive menu and room service provided by trained staff and vet nurses, Snuggle In is simply the best for your pet.
敬请收看 CTV Freeview 40频道首档华语原创系列电视节目 Chinese in Canterbury. Join us in watching Chinese in Canterbury on CTV.
Welcome back. Here's Gordon Finlater with the Weekend Sport Roundup.
A second innings knock of 209 not out from captain Peter Fulton proved to be the difference as Canterbury got their first Plunket Shield win of the season yesterday at Hagley Oval. After trailing Central Districts after the first innings, Fulton helped Canterbury to a total of 412 for 7 on Saturday, with the captain declaring before the beginning of the final day's play on Sunday. Set a target of 377 to win, Central Districts soon found themselves trying to save a draw, with 3 of their top 5 being dismissed for single figures. Logan Van Beek was the Cantab's top weapon, taking 4 second inning wickets on his way to a 6-wicket match. With just 1 wicket left to seal the match, Central's last wicket pairing put on a good fight, surviving 75 balls before Todd Astle claimed the all-important wicket, giving the team their first win at their second attempt. Christchurch Boys High made it 3 straight Gillette Cup titles on Friday, completing the week of cricket in style by winning all 5 matches. Christchurch Boys and King's College both appeared early favourites to take out the highest honour in secondary school cricket. When Christchurch Boys defeated King's College on Thursday, the initiative was seized with a final day win over Dunedin's King's High School, enough to take the title. After dismissing the Southerners for just 88 runs, Christchurch Boys made easy work of their run chase, achieving the total after 14 overs without the loss of a single wicket. To football now, and Canterbury United have got their ASB Premiership campaign back on track after an upset win over Waitakere United. The Dragons got off to a bright start, with Andy Barton grabbing the lead after just 16 minutes when he put home a sweeping cross from Miles John. The icing on the cake came in the 75th minute, with Sean O'Brien getting on the end of a ball from Ash Wellborn. Canterbury now have 7 points from 5 matches and could leapfrog the Wellington Phoenix reserves into the top 4 with a win this weekend. And finally tonight, Kashmir won their second interclub tennis title in as many years on Saturday, with the Meredith brothers all grabbing wins to help the team to the title. Taking on Waimari, youngest brother James got the team off to the perfect start with a 6-love, 6-2 win over former coach Glenn Wilson. After going down in a tight match to James Spence a week earlier, Tim Meredith got revenge as he put together an impressive match to get a 6-1, 6-3 win. The match of the day was the last, with oldest brother Matt Meredith winning a tough-fought 3-set win over big serving Remy Fenian, 3-6, 6-3, 6-3. The Waimari women's side had more success on finals day, securing a one-sided 6-0 team win over Hagley Park. Taking all 4 singles matches, Waimari also dominated the doubles, with the unbeaten pairing of Jolene Fenian and Kerry Ling finishing their season in style with a 6-2 6-love win. You're up to date with the latest in local sport. I'm Gordon Finlater for CTV Sport.
Time now for your region's weather. First in Timaru, 20 degrees, with the region's high. Temuka and Geraldine hit 23. Methven hit a high of 18, with Ashburton hitting a high of 20. Rikaya 19 degrees. Darfield, Leeston and Rolleston are warm 20 today. Looking at Lincoln and Christchurch, they had a sunny 20 degrees today as well. Looking now at Akanawa, a nice summer day for you, hitting a high of 20. Heading north, Rangiora, Kaipoi and Amberley hit a nice 20 degrees today. Culverden, Hanna Springs and Cheviot stole one of the region's highs of 23. At the top in Kaikoura, they had the region's low of 19. But what about tomorrow? In Timaru, sunny and mild with the usual northeasterly winds, hitting an overnight low of 9 and a high of 20 degrees. Ashburton mostly fine and sunny with sea breezes. 9 degrees overnight, hitting a high of 20 throughout your day. In Christchurch, a typical summer's day with clear skies and northeasterly breezes. Expect 9 degrees overnight and 20 throughout your day. At the top in Kaikoura, sunshine and northeasterly winds for your Tuesday. 9 degrees overnight, 20 throughout your day. And in other areas around the region, Temuka and Geraldine hit a high of 24 and a low of 19. Methven and Rikaya fine for most parts of the day with a high of 20 degrees. Darfield, Leeston and Rolleston reaching a high of 20 and overnight low of 9. Lincoln expect a high of 20 degrees tomorrow. Over in Akanawa, fine for most parts of the day with a high of 20. Rangiora, Kaipoi and Amberley expect an overnight low of 9 but a nice high of 20 degrees. Culverden, Hanna Springs and Cheviot expect the region's high of 24. Looking ahead for what's coming Canterbury's way. High cloud increasing on Wednesday, with northeasterlies becoming fresh and gusty. Expect some light rain that may develop briefly at night. Cloud breaking, but some high cloud remaining on Thursday. Expect moderate northeasterlies and some further brief light showers possible at night. High cloud increasing on Saturday, with warm northerly winds freshening during the afternoon. Cloudy and cool on Sunday with light showers, as well as moderate southerly winds. And that's your region's weather this evening. And that's CTV News for Monday. Have a great weekend.
Supporting local content so you can see more of New Zealand on air.